the biggest projectile vomit I have ever seen in my entire life.
Especially if
MJ,
you've just given him a thing of milk as well, so it's like,
Just girdled, yeah.
milk and 3-day-old hot cheese.
And ham sandwich.
Yeah, cheese and ham sandwich.
Why do you parent like that?
Hello, welcome back to Why Do You Parent Like That? My name is Abby Harrison, and I'm the creator and host of this podcast. This week we have Britt and MJ Meafou on the podcast. I'm really excited because it's my first couple, and that is a hope that I've had for a long time, and they were such a great starting point. We actually recorded this episode a long time ago, but I had some tech issues with their sound, and so I had to go back and forth with the program that I use, and we eventually managed to recover it, and I'm so glad I persisted because it's such a beautiful episode. You may notice that my introduction is completely MJ focused, and that's because Britt decided last minute that she would join us, which I'm so glad she did, but if you think I'm ignoring Britt, please know that I'm not. MJ and Britt are the incredible minds behind the Dad Stroller Club that they're forming down in Ōtautahi. MJ's really passionate about dads finding their village and creating space for dads the way that we encourage mums to postpartum. And he's running some really, really awesome events down in Ōtautahi. And I really encourage you that if you're an Ōtautahi-based dad looking for a village, I just can't recommend MJ's mahi more. In the episode, we tell you where to find him at the end. But if you don't make it that far, firstly, wow, very rude, but also follow him on Instagram. His Instagram is @dadbehaviour, which is in the show notes as well, for all the updates about his dad events. If you're an Ōtautahi mum listening with a co-parent who is a man, why not give them a subtle push to follow MJ? I promise you won't need to convince them to go to an event because they'll start following MJ, realise how cool he is, and want to go themselves. It feels really apt this week to be featuring an amazing dad from Ōtautahi on the pod today because, as you might have seen if you follow me on Instagram, my family lost my beautiful granddad this week, who was also an Ōtautahi dad. He was an incredible, incredible man. He was endlessly proud of his kids and grandkids and great-grandkids. So this episode today is dedicated to him, Murray Calder, but more affectionately known to many of us as Todd, which is why Freddie's name is Freddie Todd Harrison. Moi mai rā, Toddy. I'll never stop missing you. I'm not going to plug my things this week because it feels a bit weird, but thank you so much for being here, and I'll talk to you soon. Love you. Say it back.
Why do you parent like that?
My guest today is someone who's repping present, hands-on fatherhood with heart, humour and a decent set of wheels. MJ Meafou, known online as @dadbehaviour, was raised in Sydney and now lives in Ōtautahi with his wife Brittany, their son Arthur, and baby number 2 on the way. His content documents the very real, very messy, and very beautiful parts of being a dad, and he does it all with an honesty that feels both refreshing and deeply needed. MJ isn't just talking about showing up as a parent, he's doing it. Nappies, night wakes, the works. And he's not just showing up for his own kids either, he's building something bigger. He recently launched a stroller club for dads in Christchurch, because he knows that while mums are often handed the language and spaces of connection postpartum, dads are usually left on the outside of that village. He wants to change that. Through his advocacy, content, and real-life community building, MJ is creating space for dads to find camaraderie, support, and connection with each other and with their kids. He's helping shift the narrative around what fatherhood looks like, not by preaching about it, but by living it, and inviting others to come along for the stroll. MJ, welcome to Why Do You Parent Like That?
G'day. Hey, oh man, that was
That was impressive.
I could feel it swelling up. Oh, wow.
Well, I
do
would know
always-
this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, Brittany's like, excuse me, who's this man? I always joke with people that it's like my way of buttering people up to get them to talk to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, here are all the compliments. So for the people listening, we're very last minute and very excitedly have Brittany joining us too, who is MJ's wife. So we've got a duo today. So I didn't write a beautiful introduction for Brittany, but
There's
give
not
me
much.
time.
I'm a quarter of as interesting as MJ.
Don't worry, I'll write you your own one and I'll send it to you so you know what it would have been, okay? I need you to know you deserve compliments too.
No, thanks.
Cool. So do you guys want to introduce yourselves and a little bit about like who you are and what you do?
Yeah, go on, you go first, because I got the big introduction.
So I'm Brittany. I'm Ōtautahi born and kind of raised, but bounced around a little bit. And obviously met MJ in Sydney. We're started our life there together, and then we in 2020 decided to move back. To move here,
Yeah.
back for me, here to MJ,
Uh-huh.
so I could go to uni. So I went to uni as an adult student, and I study public health, and I'm currently doing my master's with the hopes of doing my PhD.
Amazing. So we got a
and-
real nerd on the podcast, guys.
Yeah.
Hell
Yeah, public health. Yeah. No, it's really cool. We've obviously got Arthur. It took us a long time to get there, but I'm sure we'll dive into that.
Yeah.
And yeah, we came back to New Zealand for quality of life and study, but really like trying to invest in our future as a couple, and we wanted a young family, so we're really doing everything we can to invest in that.
Nice.
Yeah.
MJ?
Oh, yeah. G'day. My name is Matai Jr. Siosi Meafou, also known as MJ. Yeah.
I told you I'd learn the full name if you wanted me to.
No, it's all good. Yeah.
I mean, tell us a little bit about like the stroller club and how that came to be.
Yeah. So basically, the stroller club.
It was my idea last year.
It was.
Nice.
It was. It was
Claim
Brit.
it.
It was Brit's idea, but it's like something that I kind of like. I had like tossed up to Brit, and it was something that had been swelling on my heart for a while. And I kind of was like to Brit, like every like couple months, oh, wouldn't it be cool if like I could do something for dads, or like if I could like build something like a community.
And I'm like, yeah, we talked about that 2 months ago, babe.
Yeah. And then I would kind of just, and then I'd just be like, okay, I'll revisit that again later.
Yeah,
And then,
just do it.
yeah, and then like, I think it was start of March, I, something kind of just really like pushed at me to do it, because I was like, I think I sat down again and said to Britt, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we did something for dads in Christchurch? And then she was like,
Britt was like, yeah.
yeah,
I'm like,
we've had this,
get on
yeah,
with it.
pretty much. And so I was just like, I was like, just,
But it was also kind of like a what do you have to lose? Like,
yeah,
like he's got dad friends, right? So I was like, get them along. Worst case, you end up having like a good catch up with people you already know.
Yeah.
Best case, it is what it's become, and 40
Yeah.
dads show up, and
So
like
cool.
you build this community.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, you can't really lose.
it
Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
it was, I still like replay that day of like, even just
The
the like,
launch event.
the launch of it that we had. I like replay that day in my head like so much, and it's just like, wow, can't believe this, like there's such a need for this. Like it's probably
You know there's a need, but that people actually act on it.
yeah,
Mm.
because I think the one thing that I've noticed like about becoming a dad is like dads seem to be kind of just be like acquaintances with the partners.
Yeah.
Like partners.
Friends. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
partners.
Whoever the mums
Yeah.
manage to
So, like,
make
yeah.
friends with during, like, you get your mat leave, you go to space, you
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
baby
Antenatal.
sensory, or
Yeah.
All that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
antenatal, and like you just kind of hope that whoever your partner's made friends with, you like the husband, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
or the partner.
Yeah, and like not for the most, but for everyone, I like for like
We've got a good group.
Yeah, we've got
We
a
had
good
a really good antenatal group. I
Yeah.
feel like that's the like biggest thing, especially like not being from Christchurch. When we got pregnant, we like really like looked at the antenatal groups around and like chose one that we thought would help in that aspect.
of
Yeah.
connecting with like
Yeah.
people on the same path, and like kind of like
Yeah.
from there fostering those relationships, and
Yeah.
kind of like 2 years on, we've made some amazing, like I wouldn't even say parent friends, just friends.
Yeah.
Friends, yeah.
Yeah,
One of my best friends is from our antenatal class, and I'm not like she's my antenatal best friend. Like she's just my best friend.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's kind of like what started this whole thing of the dad stroller club, just giving, because antenatal and all that stuff is a good avenue, but it was just about giving other dads more avenues to
Mm.
kind of connect dads like straight on.
Yeah, and I guess antenatal's sort of set up for mums to continue meeting, or
Yeah.
primary caregiver, which tends to be mum,
Yeah.
while they're on maternity leave. Whereas for dads, it's sort of like you need to try and find that space outside of work hours, which is really hard to do when you've got young kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially I think a lot of dads also just like, I mean, they work like full work weeks, and they kind of like think, oh yeah, my weekend is just going to be for me, my kids and my family, and they don't really want
Yeah.
to like socialize outside of that. But I think the event.
Mums want a break. Take the kids
100%.
out, give mum a
I'm
break,
like,
and
oh my
meet
gosh,
meet
my
other
husband
dads.
takes the children out of the house and I just get to be in the house by myself. Amazing.
Great.
Yeah.
Get your nails done. We had one dad at the launch event. I was just there to like help sign people in. I didn't interfere. I was like, I'm not mum. I'm just here
Yeah.
to sign people in and out. But this guy was like, oh yeah, my wife signed me up yesterday, told me about it, and he was like, yeah, she told me she was coming too. And we like parked the car, got the baby in the pram, and she goes, oh, I'm not really happy with how I parked. I'm just gonna like straighten up, and she just drove off. And then that was like my favorite story. And like he's awesome. He's come to the other events and like
Yeah.
but I just think it's
Amazing.
hilarious. Like they just need that little like push or like that space.
Leap of faith.
Yeah, to just
There
take
is
that
a,
leap,
like,
and once you're
It
there,
is a vulnerability to be
Yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah.
hey, I need to access this social group. Like it's that step of admission of like, I feel like I'm lacking this. And I feel like
Yeah.
that's quite countercultural in New Zealand to,
yeah, it's a good
especially for
point.
men to admit like, hey, I need some friends. Like I think that's quite so amazing that you obviously present yourself as a safe space for men to be able to like approach you in that, because I think that's huge in itself, but also so cool that there are all these men who are willing to take that step, because that's like definitely a thing in New Zealand that I could see people like men getting teased for in a very toxic masculinity way. So like
Oh, yeah.
very cool that you found that space.
Yeah.
I think also like with having kids to be able to like show that like vulnerability is like
Mhm.
not gonna say a cool thing, but it's like it's part of
Yeah,
being a
it
man,
is.
you
It's a
know, or
cool
just
thing.
part of being a human.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
So
It's good
I'm
role
really-
modeling.
Yeah, it is.
And I mean, kids are a good
Absolutely.
icebreaker, you know? Like,
100%.
yeah, you know, you've got
Yeah.
something in common.
Yeah.
Off the bat.
And then
And,
from there, you build
like,
from it.
if you don't like the person that you're talking to, if you're like, this isn't really someone I'd want in my life, you can still hold a conversation with them because you can ask them about their kid. It's great. Yeah. Awesome. Well, shall we jump on into the questions?
Yeah,
Cool.
sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's
It's
fine.
long
It's
intro.
great. Sometimes my like preamble talking to people is like 40 minutes, so we're
Yeah.
actually doing really well. So, if you guys want to tell me about your journey to becoming parents.
Yeah. The journey to becoming parents was quite a
Long one.
long one and very tiring might be the wrong word, but like it was like very like spiritually, mentally fatiguing.
Mm. Trying to conceive when it's not happening quickly and is a
Yeah.
journey is exhausting. I completely agree with tiring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we got married in 2019 in
Mhm.
June. I don't know why I had to think about that for so long.
It's all right. My
Um,
husband told me last night that he can never remember what year we got married, and I'm like, okay, cool.
I
He's
just
like, "I've
remember
got
a
the
year
date,
before
I
the
just don't know."
pandemic.
Yeah.
I'm just always like so thankful we didn't put it off a year.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, so we got married in June 2019, and it got to the end of the year, and we kind of we always sit down at the start of the year and like plan goals for what we want to achieve separately, together, steps we want to make towards our future, blah blah blah, each year. And with it being 2020, we like extended it this time, and we were like in 30 years, so by 2030, what are like 10-year goals that we want. So that's what kind of started the discussion around having kids, and that's when we kind of decided that we wanted to come back to New Zealand. I was working in corporate retail, which is
Mhm.
pretty soul-sucking stuff.
Yeah. And I was working at the same
Oh
company.
yeah, MJ was working
Same
for
company.
me at the same
In
company.
logistics
Nice.
and stuff like that. Yeah. We're working at the same company.
That's pretty
Um,
hot stuff, guys.
yeah.
That's pretty hot stuff.
Only
But
for a
like,
couple.
in Sydney, a couple's great. No.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, and then I could bring the
Um,
same lunch, I guess. That's quite
yeah.
good too.
Lunch dates, pretty nice. No. And so that kind of prompted the discussion of like where we wanted to see ourselves in a family. Like we knew we wanted kids young. We were pretty young when we got married. So we've been together for
12 years.
12 years, at 6 years married this year. And so we got together quite young. We're high school sweethearts, got married quite young, and we were like, continue the trend, want to have our kids on the younger
I have the
side.
exact same story as you
Yeah,
guys. I'm the
there you
exact same.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we were kind of like, we knew we wanted to move to New Zealand that year. We actually initially wanted to do an OE and then come to New Zealand. And then COVID hit, and we were kind of like, well, the OE's out of the picture. We still wanted to move. And so we were like, why don't we just start not trying for kids? So it kind of started with that, like let's just see what happens.
Remove the goalie, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I was like, let's just see what happens. I had a pretty like rough health history as a teenager, and I didn't know if that would affect it.
And it was all like kind of revolving around.
Yeah, my sickness was all like around my tummy, and like I ended up having PCOS, but we didn't get that like diagnosis until quite a lot later.
But that's like on reflection, that's what it was.
Yeah, definitely played a big part of it anyway. So yeah, we definitely started like not trying, but then you kind of have this assumption that you're young, pretty healthy, that like what would happen.
And your whole life, everyone's going, don't get pregnant, don't get pregnant. You have 6 months, you'll get pregnant.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you try and you're
struggling.
like,
Yeah.
you're like, but I'm not pregnant. How?
Yeah.
Everyone told me I was going to get pregnant, so
Literally,
why is it not happening?
Yeah, so even though we were like not trying, I was kind of like, but why is it not happening?
Yes.
I think that like stigma was just like, I think that stigma was like the part that was like frustrating me the most.
Yeah. The issue is I had really inconsistent cycles, so I would never.
So hard to track.
Yeah, so you'd never know, like, or I would have cycles that lasted like 100 days. Like, we're talking crazy. And I would be unwell. So I'm like, well, these could be pregnancy symptoms, but I'm still getting negative tests. And I don't want to swear. I was going to say it was a brain F, but that's probably not. Like, it just like messes with you, right? Because you're like, but I haven't had my period in like 3 months. And like, I feel like crap. I'm not testing positive. Like, it just kind of became this like thing in that sense. And then it was COVID, so you're sitting at home and like you fall into these YouTube traps and like things like that. I'm like, you'll learn I'm not the emotional one in this relationship. And I don't get caught up on things too much, which I think probably helped. But even being that person, I still would fall into the rabbit holes and stuff like that.
I think it's so hard not to. I think when you want something so much and you're so aware that it's something that's happening in your body, it's hard to not like obsess over anything you could be doing, even though you realistically actually have no control.
Yeah. And it's like human nature, eh? Like the more something you can't have, the more you want it, eh? And like, we kind of got to that like year mark and we were like,
So we like moved to New Zealand, like coming up to that year of trying. And you can't get help until you've been trying for a year. You can't kind of approach the topic of help. So we'd moved to New Zealand. We had to find a new GP. We got a pretty shit one, being pretty blunt about it. Like, it took a lot of visits with her for her to even do like blood tests to investigate anything.
That's so frustrating.
And she, told us pretty much that we were too fat to get pregnant. She was like,
"That's nuts."
She was like, that's what the problem is. That's it. Didn't actually test for anything.
And she just kept on saying that, like reinforcing that stigma of, oh, you guys are young, it'll happen.
Yeah, and I'm like, is it not more concerning that we're young and it's not happening?
Yes. If anything, it's like, surely we should be investigating a little bit more if you're so convinced that we've got nothing working against us.
And she just was uninterested in my health history, and it was just incredibly frustrating. But I was actually doing some study for an assignment at uni, and I knew Fertility Associates existed, but I didn't know you could self-refer for a free phone consultation. So I did that. I was like sick of the doctor. I was like, she's not going to help us. So I did the self-referral and did like you get a free phone consult. And these people were like, you should have been referred to us. This is like 6+ months down the track from then, maybe even a year. And they were like, you still have to go back to the GP and they have to send an official referral, but you can tell them and we'll let them know that you qualify for a referral.
Nice.
But like, how many people are in the same situation don't know you can self-refer? Or like, it was purely by chance that I found that you could self-refer.
And you're just like, how many people are going to GPs that have that same, like, that are just getting told, like, lose weight, you're fine, keep trying, and actually there's something going on? Like,
I mean, it started us on a good little health journey.
It did.
But I'm like, I don't think that's why we eventually felt pregnant.
No.
I don't think it had a part in it, or maybe a small part, but like, and it's not good for your self-esteem. Like,
it's like essentially it's someone saying like it's your fault. And you're like, ooh, love to hear that. Especially when it's not. So then, how soon from visiting Fertility Associates? Like, what was the journey like after that point?
You can go.
How long?
You don't, and
actually-
also like a big caveat to this whole thing, you
Mm.
only need to share as much as you want to. So
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
don't
yeah.
want to get
Yeah,
into
No,
nitty
that's
gritties,
good.
that's
No,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
fine. What I was gonna say,
We-
I had to go get my
Counts down.
my counts done.
Yeah,
Did you
the
have to do
first
the hilarious drive to the
Oh,
the bank to
yes,
like
yes,
hand it
while it's
in,
oh my.
but you have to do it within like a time frame.
while
Yeah.
it's still warm?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So my
Well, okay.
husband, we live on the North Shore, so like the north side of the bridge in Tamaki, and the place where you have to drop it to in Auckland is like on the other side of the bridge, like quite a while away.
Yeah.
So like I think what's the time frame? Like an hour, and I think the drive
think.
for him was 35 minutes. So he like, did his business. Put it in the little jar, put it under his armpit like they tell you to do, started driving, and when he got over the bridge, the low petrol light came on, and he was like, no. He was like, just let me get to this place so I don't have to do this damn drive again. Luckily, he got there, but he was like, that was the most stressful drive of my
It is
life.
so stressful. Not only is it so stressful, I don't know.
It's so awkward.
It's so like
It's
sus
weird.
as well. It feels so.
Awful.
It feels like you're doing something. Yeah.
And I don't know what, like, your guys, and we love, and my fertility associate specialist is also my endometriosis specialist. I've been working with him since I was 19. He is the best.
wow.
I love him. But he told my husband that sometimes the, like, the lab test place, people get confused and think that sperm is urine, and so they leave it sitting out, and so it can go off. So he was like, when you get in there, you need to tell them this is sperm. And so my husband was like, what? I need to walk in and go, this is sperm, and then walk out of it. Like, he was like, that is so uncomfortable.
No one told me to do that, but like it was kind of something that I had thought like. I was like, okay, if I don't say something, because there's been like situations where I haven't said something and then it's not clear and then it's my fault. So I had to walk in and be like, I walked in, I was like, this is my sample. And but like the lady at the front was like, so like made me feel good because like she didn't make me feel awkward. She was like, oh, cool, is that blood, sperm, or urine? And I was like, oh.
You forget that this is like their job, right? Like nothing's weird to them.
Yeah, they're just like, that is nothing to me. I know, it's so funny. Something that is so weird to us. And it's so funny because like after he came back from that trip, he was like, some people just have to have sex and that's all they have to do and they can have a baby. But we have to like drive to my sperm under my arm to lab tests and stress and tell someone that he was like, why do we have to go through all the weird stuff?
And you had to do it twice.
I did.
Because the accounts were like they were
the first
not like concerning, but not great.
They just wanted to recheck.
But they want they asked you to make changes. I can't remember what they were.
It is interesting. Like I feel like so in the zeitgeist, so much they say that it's like, or we feel like it all has to do with women. But I feel like we're finding out more and more so much more to do with sperm. Like way more than what I realized, and like how much like sperm quality or whatever can fluctuate with life changes, which I didn't know really until we went through fertility treatment.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I wish I remember exactly what they asked you, but it worked.
I think it was something to do with like cutting out a certain
or adding in. It was diet based, but it wasn't like completely alter your diet. It was just something really small. I can't remember, but anyway, that improved, and then I had a saline infusion scan. And I remember doing it, having it done, and the like technician is like, oh, just like, typical like old lady, like having a yarn while she's doing her thing, like you're just lying on the table, like, oh.
This isn't uncomfortable at all.
And she was like, oh, a lot of people like after this just fall pregnant, like you just get everything flushed out, and like she's like, not saying it will happen, but like it is quite common. And I mean, I don't know if she was right, but we got pregnant, I think, like 2 cycles after that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So fairly cool.
We kind of got all the results, and we had another appointment with fertility associates. They went through everything, and we were like, 'cause it's a point-based system, we were like points away from publicly funded treatment. And they were talking to us about like potentially doing IVF in the future and having to start saving for that now. But because we were points off publicly funded, we would have to be trying for 5 years before they would see us again for public treatment and things like that. So they were like, you can start saving for IVF, or they suggested the pill to induce ovulation.
Yeah.
but they
What's it
didn't
called?
think
Letrozole or something like that, I can't remember
that
what it's called.
sounds familiar. Yeah.
Something. Someone's screaming it at me as they're listening. They're like, I know
Yeah.
it. I'm on it right
That's
now.
what it is. Yeah. But they didn't think, based on my condition, that it would be overly helpful. They really were pushing for the IVF.
Yeah.
But because we didn't fall into that publicly funded treatment, we were going to have time to kind of sit on it and think about it. I think we had talked about maybe doing like a few cycles of that. We could probably make that money work considerably cheaper than IVF. And like IVF would not have been financially viable for us, not for a long time anyway. So
it was real grim. It was getting real grim when we got that.
It's so, they give you, I don't know if they did it to you, but they sort of like at that first appointment with Fertility Associates, and again, my beautiful specialist who I love so much, but he sort of like slid the pamphlet over and you look at the cost of everything and you're just like, how, like that, like, oh, the stab in your heart of like, how would we make this work? Like, and do you bankrupt yourself? Like,
well, we had used all of our savings pretty much to move here. So we were kind of starting from scratch again, and I was going in to be a full-time student. We had dropped to full income. Like I was like, this is not going to be possible. But yeah, and then we naturally fell pregnant just a few months later.
And that was Arthur?
Yeah, that was Arthur.
Yay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think, and from that starting, not trying / trying, it was almost 3 years.
What a journey to be having like 2 weeks ovulation and then waiting the 2 weeks and then waiting the 2 weeks to ovulate again and then testing, and then it's like,
you're just in this
constant increments cycle. Is so hard.
Yeah. I kept like not all of them, but a pretty decent amount of all my negative tests.
So many.
And when and I wouldn't test every month. I was never that person that would be like, well, I'm 10 days post ovulation. Like if I didn't think I was pregnant, I wouldn't test.
You kind of went off like how you felt.
Yeah. And so it was pretty cool when we got like the positives. I did like, I'd have a picture of it, have like all these negatives, and then like his positives in the middle. It was pretty cool.
Amazing. That's so cool. And so then how was pregnancy? Good?
It's all right, actually. I mean, compared to this one, it was a walk in the park.
Yeah. It's like being like the one to support Britt in like all 3 of the pregnancies we've had. The first one, you kind of like
everything's new.
Everything's new. You're going into the unknown of like how to support your partner, and like like looking back at it now, like it was so much easier. I think it was so much easier because like I was able to have
another responsibility running around.
That's one of them.
The toddler makes all the difference.
Yeah, that's like I'd say that's like 90% of it. But like the other 10% is just like those other things that you like in that first pregnancy. I'll be like, oh, okay, well, Britt has this at this time to make her feel better, or like an up and go and a piece of toast. So like,
it was I think the biggest difference was the predictability. Like I knew what I needed to feel better. Like MJ would have something waiting for me in the morning before I got up. I remember that being like the first thing the doctor said, like, make sure you have something to eat before your feet hit the ground.
And I used to have like a little like
I had a snack caddy. MJ made me a snack caddy by the bed.
I bought a snack.
You roll over in the middle of the night and I'm just munching on sea salt chips.
Good for breastfeeding too, to like have something to reach over at night.
Exactly,
yeah. But yeah, I think that was it. It was like there was hard parts, but
oh my gosh, that was, I remember at one point in my second pregnancy or my subsequent pregnancy after Freddie being like, oh, I just want to go and be able to lie down, but I have to look after a toddler.
Yeah. Or like, I mean, MJ's awesome and he'd be like, go and lie down, but like you just feel awful. Like you feel like you're neglecting your family, but like
and you're MJ's also like oh, I'm like neglecting this child for a kid that's not even born yet. You're like, oh, why? You know, like I remember being like, my alive child's the responsibility, and my husband was like, don't be stupid, you're growing the second child, like go lie down.
Oh my gosh,
MJ
I have to say that so many times. Every time Britt like apologizes, I'm just like, you're growing like a whole ass human again. Like,
you're probably going like a femur right now, so just go lie down.
Literally. I'm just I have to keep like in a nice way. I have to keep reminding Britt like just like to be kind to herself, because like she's balancing a lot of things. Like she said at the top of the show, like she's doing her masters. She's also dealing with Arthur, and like we're raising a son, and then she also works retail once a week as well.
Oh, Britt, jeepers.
Yeah, so
No wonder you're exhausted, mate.
Yeah.
Exactly. So like I'm like, and like Britt's like, oh, but you work too. But I'm like, yeah, but like I'm not growing a human, so like I just have to just like take it easy. You know, you're running.
Get
Take it
easy.
easy. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And so then what has the like difference between, well, what was the first pregnancy like for you, MJ, as like a support person? How was that kind of like emotional shift? Did it feel real for you until Arthur was born? What was that kind of like?
the first one I felt like a lot of like joy because it was all unknown.
Yeah.
Um, and like I guess you just kind of embrace it, whereas like this pregnancy you kind of just embrace chaos.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great way to put it.
Yeah, so it's just like the first one you're kind of in
You're
that,
excited for
yeah, you're in that
everything.
like world of like, haha, don't know any better. I'm like, we're like, you
Yeah.
know, Britt's growing a human and I'm like,
Along for the ride.
yeah,
You're
like,
like,
yeah,
and I'm
that's
here
what it felt
too.
like. Yeah, but like I think like emotionally like that first one was just like I think I rode a
Yeah,
high
ages.
like for a
It took me a really long time to like feel like it was real. Like he'd be kicking,
Yeah.
and I would be like, "Oh, I love this child," but like also like I still felt super disconnected. Where I think you felt more connected, or like you felt like it was real a lot quicker than I did.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think yeah, just that
Why
like
do you
yeah.
think that was, Brett? Like, why do you think you felt? Do you think it was just you like protecting yourself, being like,
I don't
"Hang on."
even think it was in that sense. I think it's just like, yeah, I think from an emotion standpoint, like you emotionally connected or felt connected really quickly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know this child. Like, I don't know. I think it's just more who I am. Like this. So we've had a pregnancy in between that we miscarried, and then now this pregnancy. And like, I don't think I felt it as strongly this time. Like I feel more connected the miscarriage in this one. I think because I know what's coming. I think
Yeah.
it was like I didn't know what was coming and how it was progressing. So it was
Yeah.
almost hard to like visualize
Like
the
conceptualize it.
maybe something like that. Yeah,
Interesting.
but I would always be like, I don't feel like this is real, and I was like freaking huge, and very clearly it was quite real. Like,
MJ was like, I can see that it's real.
yeah,
Definitely real.
yeah.
That's cool. That's so cool. And then we'll quickly just go over like birth and early days. What was that like for you guys?
Birth was great.
Birth was great.
Oh, I
It was,
love
yeah.
that for you guys.
It was.
It was really quick.
It was from like 5 in the morning, and you
Baby
gave
was
birth at
born by 1.
1. Yeah.
Nice.
And that was like complete. Like that was like early labor to finish.
Oh, like start to finish. Wow,
Yeah.
amazing.
My
So when
midwife.
people are saying to you now that your subsequent labor is going to be half the time, are you like,
Yeah,
okay,
my
great.
midwife is like, as soon as you even
to
think
kill.
you're in labor, we will be going to wherever we plan to go. We're thinking hospital. We ended up having a retained placenta, so I had to have surgery
I had the same
after
with my
having
second
Arthur.
birth.
There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah. So with the risk of that happening again, we think we'll do hospital.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really quick. He was early as well, which like everyone tells you for your first kid, like you'll go over, be prepared to be
I
2
feel
weeks
like
late.
everything that people say to first time mums, like you're going to be in labor for days,
Yeah.
you're going to go well over. And you're
Yeah.
like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
He's going to be early,
And
and it's going to be quick.
My whole pregnancy, I thought he was going to be early. Like, I didn't expect it. I didn't tell myself it, but I just had this feeling that he'd be early. And he was a
was.
few days early, and then, really quick labor. He was actually born on the toilet
He
at the
was.
hospital. It's like my favorite fun fact.
Yeah.
It's,
And I can't wait to embarrass him with it later in
It's
his
the
life.
best laboring spot. And
Yeah,
I
it
didn't
was
know
the
that.
only place I was comfortable, like
I know.
most of the labor.
I didn't know that it was like a thing. That
Yeah.
people call it like a magic labouring spot. And then when I was in labour with my first, I was like, the only place I want to be right now is
Yeah,
either
it's
in
the
the
toilet.
shower or on the toilet.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
those
they
are the
call it,
only
I remember in
spaces.
antenatal, they were like, it's a dilation station.
The dilation station, yeah.
And I'm
so
like,
now
well-
I work on a maternity ward now, like a birthing suite. And
Yeah,
so
cool.
when like I'm a social worker, I'm not a midwife, but I work with so many midwives, and they're all like, tell me your birth. You know, they all want to hear what my birth was like.
Yeah.
And then
I
I'm like,
love
oh,
hearing
yeah.
people's birth stories.
Yeah, it's funny, eh? Some people are so into it and some people are not at all.
No.
But they're always like, oh, the dilation station. Whenever I'm like, yeah, I just like laboured on the toilet for so long. They're like, oh, good spot. Good. And I'm like, yep.
Yeah, but ended up, I wanted an epi. I asked for it pretty early. It didn't happen. So I ended up being completely unmedicated on the toilet. And then, had the issue with the retained placenta. And they were like, cool, so we'll do a spinal tap. And I was like, no, you won't. I was like, I asked for one and you didn't give it to me,
No,
put me to sleep.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be awake for this.
Yeah, I was like, I don't get anything out of this. Like, put me to sleep. I don't need to be
Yeah,
awake.
the least I can do is have a little snooze after having an unmedicated birth. Thank you so much.
I remember like waking up in the recovery room and like MJ and Arthur went there. MJ, I mean, it was cool because you got like a little bonding time that most dads wouldn't get, right?
I got like an hour of like skin to skin. I got to do like the first nappy, the change.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I wasn't even there when he was dressed and weighed and
I know.
all that
We
kind of
always
stuff.
joke that my husband is like more bonded with my daughter than I am because he had that, like he got
Maybe
golden
that's
hour.
it. Yeah.
So I'm always like,
did you get rushed in pretty quick?
parent? Yeah, I was losing quite a bit of blood. So
okay.
it
So
was
I
like
still
a bit
got
of an emergency situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was lucky in the sense we got the full hour and
Nice.
it then became an emergency, like it's not coming. I didn't realize until afterwards, or I wasn't told until afterwards, the risk of hemorrhaging when you...
I was told. I was scared.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So scared.
Because once they kind of had like, they tried a few different things to try and get the placenta to come out.
Did they pull the umbilical cord?
They tried doing that. They did a catheter, which when you haven't had any meds sucks.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, they got you to
I
pee
know.
first and then the catheter.
Well, I asked if I could try and pee because I didn't want the catheter.
Yeah. Because it's something like they sometimes think that if you need to wee, your bladder has inflated enough and gotten in the way of the placenta, right? That was the,
And they
I
put me on the
totally forgot that was
drip
part of the process. I literally told my birth story a few days ago and completely forgot this whole catheter part happened. That's wild.
Not great. But yeah,
Clearly
so,
have blanked that out of my memory, eh? Like, nah.
You're like, it didn't happen.
No.
So yeah, once they kind of were like, this placenta's not moving, they acted really, really quickly.
Yeah.
But and then Arthur was a pretty good newborn. Sleep was hard to start with, but I think sleep's hard for everyone to start with.
Yeah.
Like I don't think we had it any worse off than anyone, but we get into our biggest thing.
Those things are a dream, eh? Where they just like bring you great food and like tell you you're doing a good job.
You get your own space.
Do you guys want to go for your second one as well?
100%.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah, just
it
the
was
experience the first time was just like
like
second to none. Like
yeah.
But I'm like, even with having Arthur, I'm like, I'd like to have a little bit of time with, we call this pregnancy Mimi. We always have like a pregnancy name. So like, I'd really like to have a day or a few days with Mimi, like to find your rhythm, to like get a bit more comfortable before coming home to Arthur.
We always thought like, we knew we would, so my eldest is Freddie. We always knew we would miss Freddie in those days, but we were like, we had 3 years with Freddie by himself, and this is the only time that this baby is probably going to have us just to themselves.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
And we really, like, I really don't regret going up. We had like full 3 days with her, just the three of us. Freddie was with his grandparents and having the best time.
Yeah, I'm like, he's not going to miss us at all. Like,
nah, he was totally like, Freddie could not have been less bothered that we were apart, and it was so nice to just get that like few days under our belt to like remember what newborn life is like and like get back in the rhythm of it.
Because like you forget everything, right? Well, like not everything, but like
you got to pick it up again quite quickly after like.
The human body is literally made, like the oxytocin you experience in those like post-birth, and we have like women have that huge hormone shift. Like evolutionary wise, your body is designed to do that, to forget the experience of birth. Yeah. To forget it, so you do it again.
Yeah.
Like that's literally how.
Because there's no other way the human race would survive if we remembered.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's why, so on my second birth, like I had the postpartum hemorrhage with the retained placenta. It was like not super exciting for anyone involved, but we came home and we always knew we wanted to, so it was fine. My husband came home and booked his vasectomy the day we got home from birth.
I was going to say, we haven't approached that one yet.
He was like, I am not letting you forget. We are not forgetting. This is never happening again. A conversation to have. If you need someone who's a great advocate for a vasectomy, chat to my husband.
Yeah.
But yes, no, that's so awesome and like so nice that you guys had like, even though the birth didn't go like exactly according to plan, that
Yeah,
you
it's
still
still a
think
good
of it really
experience, yeah.
positively and like can see the benefit in it, and that it's not something you're like scared of going into this time. Nice. Okay. Second question. What does successful parenting mean or look like to you guys?
I think for me, successful parenting is, or for what it looks like to me is, I'm really big on like raising, especially we have a son. I'm really big on like having Arthur being like emotionally aware. It's like a really big,
Emotional intelligence.
yeah. I'm sorry, yeah, emotional, yeah, aware and being intelligent with those emotions. I think for me, like Brittany said plenty of times, I'm the more emotional one in our kind of like duo dynamic here.
Me
But
too, MJ. Don't worry. Me too.
yeah,
I'm like, I have all the feelings, and my husband's like, and I have
yeah,
no feelings. So let's meet in the middle somewhere.
yeah, and it's like I think with the emotions I have, it doesn't matter which emotion it is, but like I feel it very hard,
Yeah,
you
I'm
know,
the
like
same.
so like for me, I think it's like it's like kind of corny to say like that saying you hear like, oh, it costs nothing to be kind, and like that really sits with me
Yeah, I think both of us.
to like raise like a young man
Who was kind and
who was,
considerate,
yeah,
is aware of his emotions
Mm.
and aware of the people around
around,
him and their emotions. I think that is like I could not care less what he does for a job
no,
and what sports he plays. Like I care
Mm.
about his character
Yeah.
and how he affects the people around him.
oh, how we affect the people around, that's so good, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
Do
big
you
one.
think that that value on kindness would have been the same if you had a girl? Do you think it's like, do you think you feel more conscious of it because he's a little boy? Or do you, like,
I don't
either way, it wouldn't have been important?
important. But I think especially the world we live in, like I feel like 5 years ago I thought we were heading in a pretty good place, and now I don't know, the world is pretty
Scary.
screwed up and moving in directions I didn't think it would be. So I think like respect and things like that are really huge for boys in particular. Like yeah, I think.
I think personally for me, not that it's like more important for
Mm.
or give them the tools to kind of deal with
Role
those
model.
situations.
How
Yeah.
did you find those tools for yourself?
Yeah, I think
Question.
yeah, but I think for the most part it was through the the men in my life, especially my dad.
Mhm.
He was like someone I looked up to and still look up to. Um, he's just a humble man. Like he grew up in the islands, moved over to Australia. He still works a carpentry job. Um, I think the way he lived his life, the way he showed his emotions, which now that I look back at it now was like he was quite an emotional man.
Especially for the time.
Yeah, for the time and for the culture that I was brought up in. Um, was I think like way ahead of his time in terms of like being emotionally like intelligent and like
Vulnerable.
and vulnerable. He was a very vulnerable man.
That's
Um,
amazing.
yeah, so but then on the other on and then also like thinking in hindsight, I also look at like men I've also like kind of dealt with in my life or had part with where I've thought the opposite and I've thought,
I
okay,
don't
I
want to
don't
do
want
that.
to
I
do
don't want
that.
to be like you.
Yeah, so like teaching my son how not to be like that or like
Yeah.
how not to do things, um, has been like played a real part of giving me the tools to like pick and choose like the little good bits from my dad or pick and choose the things not to take from people that I've come across in my life.
Mm. I love that that's like like a paternal legacy in your family. Like how
Yeah.
beautiful that that is the legacy that is getting passed down from father to son. And I think like not the story we're used to hearing. And it just, man, makes my heart so happy that you got that role model to you, but you also can see enough to see it as a value and are like intentionally passing that down to Arthur, but also like you're showing it very beautifully in your content as well. Even like that video that you posted of you talking to having that conversation with Arthur about when you got upset and you were like explaining that you were sorry. I was like, oh, I just, as like a person who has been a children's social worker, what I wouldn't give for more fathers to be exposed to that kind of conversation with their children, particularly like Pacifica men. I think that is like so amazing and like, again, countercultural. And I just want to give you your flowers for that because that is so cool. Like,
Thank
so
you. I appreciate
I don't
that.
have any I don't have any like
Yeah.
way to round this out other than like that is just so awesome to see and like just makes my heart so happy that
Thank
that
you.
is like the direction.
It's like when, for me, like with like my dad as being like the person, it felt like the norm to me until I became older and I started to like you like make interconnections and interpersonal connections with other people, and you start to see, oh, the way I was brought up is not the same way someone else was brought up. And I think like through my teenage years, like was a big like, whoa, okay, like it was a big not culture shock, but it was a big like realization of like kind of like the world that I was kind of in, because that's my world. It's not everyone's world, but like it's kind of the world that I was in. I was like, okay, I'm gonna take these lessons and
Yeah.
kind of just put them just lock them in here for you, like lock them into my mind and into my heart, and be like, you never know when these will come in handy.
Mm.
Yeah.
How did you find it like as a teenager, like holding those things as as a value, so like kindness, respect, humility, all those things, and I'm guessing like probably wasn't exactly what you were seeing amongst your peers. How was that experience for you in terms of like knowing who you were and how you were raised versus like what you were seeing and potentially like what your peers, how they were behaving? Like how was that for you?
I think the way like it was kind of like I was brought up, it like gave me strong morals and like a lot of like integrity. So like if I've always thought to be someone who if like I don't see something right, I speak on it.
Yeah.
But I feel like context a little bit here. But where we met was at high school,
Yes.
and we were at a performing arts high school in Sydney, and like in the heart of Sydney, it's like this private school. I got a scholarship.
I got to stop.
MJ got a scholarship. Like we naturally didn't fit in to like the backgrounds that the people around us
Yeah.
were from, if that makes sense.
Especially because the school we went to was like a creative school, so like there's like. You okay?
I was thinking you are actually doing so, like you look like you're in such an uncomfortable position. You are doing so well.
It was actually really comfortable, but now I've got a cramp.
Oh no! Cramp break, cramp break. So you were at a scholarship school. I'm guessing it was a bunch of rich white kids, just from context clues. Yeah.
It's pretty.
Yeah, that, but also mixed in with like I guess like the stereotype behind like artsy kids is they're a bit more like kind of like experimental with their lifestyle, I guess.
That's a good way to
The
put
gesture
it.
you just did.
Yeah, they're just like experimental like with their lifestyle, like
That's like the best way to put it.
yeah, with like in all facets of like in all facets of their lifestyle. And it was like
For me, that was like a big like I don't want to take that direction in my life, or like I don't value the same things that you value, and I think that instilled in me like who I was more strongly, and I would say for you similar.
yeah, I think for me it was like I think I already had that going in.
Yeah.
Like sure, like I guess like having a drink here and there, but like we had kids that were doing some crazy stuff, and I was just like, that's not for me. And like I would never like never like make them feel like, oh
No.
But like it's
We're
just
making it sound like we hated everyone we went to school with. We had incredible friends at the school,
yeah,
but like we found the people like us, like in terms of the values and and I think even that like further cements like I think looking at other people, and I'm not saying like in a judgmental way, but I think you can learn a lot from people's like the way they interact or their from their character and how they approach things or view things. I think that can like reaffirm or
absolutely. I think in the way that you can see people and go, I want to emulate you. You can see people and go, and I don't want to be like that. You. And I think both things equally valid, you know?
Yeah. And you tend to just like drift towards those people anyway, like when you start to like be like, okay, this is who I am, and like people who know who they are, and like I guess like you just naturally just gravitate to those people.
Yeah, totally. Cool. That's so cool. And so then you're like carrying that into the way you're raising Arthur and will raise Mimi. Do you know Mimi's sex?
No, we've booked a scan for while we're in Sydney in a few weeks. So
exciting. What are your gut feelings at the moment?
everyone's telling us it's a girl.
I
And
had
I
the
don't.
same as well. I
Yeah.
think everyone just, if you've got one, they immediately start telling you
Yeah.
the other.
Everyone's like, it's like such a different pregnancy.
That's all you can really base it off, right?
And I'm like, if we're
This
going
is
off
the
that,
issue
well then,
is
yeah.
that everyone was saying this to me, so we didn't find out for either pregnancy. We
Wow.
waited till
Don't have that
birth.
self-control.
Yeah.
See, I'm usually a real control freak, but for some reason, this is
Yeah.
something I was fine to not find out. But because my pregnancy with Freddie was straightforward and my pregnancy with my daughter Max was like HG and a nightmare, everyone was like, she's a girl. And I was like, there's no scientific fact behind
Yeah.
that, blah, blah, blah. And then she was a girl. And I was
Girl,
like, damn
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I
Shit.
think I'm leaning more towards girl,
Mm.
but I don't know.
I'm leaning towards a girl only just based off like
Everyone.
no what we've been through so far.
MJ's mum like literally just says she
Yeah.
every time.
That's
talks
what my
about the
mum
pregnancy.
did.
Yeah.
And I used to get so mad. I was like HG, miserable, furious. And I was
Yeah.
like, don't call it a she. We don't. I used to get so grumpy at her. And now she's like, and she was a
What
she.
was it?
I was right the whole time.
Yeah. Okay, mum, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, I always knew. You didn't know, but I knew. I'm like, okay, mum.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Third question. What is something about your parenting style that feels unique to you? So that can be your shared parenting style or your individual parenting styles. That can be either.
Yeah, we were talking about this one earlier.
Yeah, I think the what phrase did I use? I think we have like quite a good like
We're very relaxed. I feel like
yeah.
that. If
Like-
that's something that's always commented on, like even at our newborn photos, Arthur was like 10 days old, and they're like, I don't think we've ever met a couple that's like so relaxed at a
Love
newborn
that.
shoot.
But I think
Uh,
I'd like people think it just like comes natural, but I think it's like for Britt and I, we're flexible. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like organized.
Mm.
Yeah, like we're flex. I think people just say, oh, they just think it's like relaxed, but like Britt and I like had like made it a point just to be like with our parenting style to be like more on the flexible side.
Mm.
And I think like the word flexible just gets thrown out, but like I guess it reflects when people are like, oh, you're so relaxed, or like the way you guys like parent is a very relaxed style, but like. I think if you don't have like a lot of flexibility in the way you are parenting, it like
you can get overwhelmed so quickly.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
there'll be like a lot
agree.
of like hurt. Like I feel like if you're don't have any kind of like flexibility, there'll be more like hurdles and more speed bumps in the road
Well,
ahead.
I feel like I just come up with this in my brain right now.
Here we go. Everyone
Tell-
listen up. Everyone
go.
listen up. Here we go.
I'm like, you have to have some flexibility. If you think of like a ruler, right? Like if you try and like bend that too much and it's so rigid and you have all these like really like tight expectations, like that's not what parenting is. Like you're going to come over hurdles that you're not expecting. And if you're like dealing with this thing that is so rigid, like eventually you're going to snap. Like there's going to be like a break. So I feel like we're like a flexi ruler, like you wanted when you were 5.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like you
Someone
kind
write
of
down that metaphor.
Yeah.
Come
Wow.
on.
Are you
Just
studying your
fire,
masters
girl.
or something?
It's 10 past
But
9
like-
at night. You're not meant to be
Yeah.
firing on all cylinders right now.
Damn.
But like I think that's actually a pretty good analogy of how we parent. Like
Yeah.
we do have, like what we were saying earlier is like we don't have a routine, but we have routines around events.
Yeah.
So like bedtime has a routine, but it doesn't matter if that happens at 6 or 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Or like dinner has a similar thing, like there's a structure to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter.
No.
Like, do you want to sit in your high chair? Do you want to stand at your tower? Do you
You want a
want to
picnic?
do you want a picnic? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. And I feel like even as like a newborn, Arthur was like a contact napper and for like the first like 9 months.
Yeah.
And like being flexible around that. And like, I think if you set up all these expectations for yourself, like,
And you're trying to hit like marks or points throughout the day every day.
yeah, like
Yeah.
you're just going to tire yourself out.
Yeah.
Like parenting is
Yeah.
already hard.
Yeah.
Like the more expectation, it's like what in any business, in any job you have, it's like that, like under promise, over perform.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I feel like you can apply that to parenting. Like expect less of yourself or like less of your day, less of whatever.
Yeah.
And like you might surprise yourself, but like you set these expectations for yourself and you don't hit them. Like
Yeah.
what would have just been like a difficult day and you managed to get through it. could be like a really shit day because you had all these expectations on yourself.
Of what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it can be quite easy, I guess, with our messaging that we receive of like what parenting should like look like, especially with toddlers and routines and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it can be easy to think of a day as like winning a race or like running a race when really that's like not what it is. You don't like win or lose a day of parenting. You like
It's a
either
marathon.
enjoy your day or
Yeah.
you don't. And that can solely depend on like you guys are saying, how flexible you approach the day. So that's really cool. That's like a very lovely thing for you guys to be good at. Do you guys have anything that you feel like individually you think is like when I say unique, obviously there are other people in the world who will share characteristics to you guys.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
worry. I'm not expecting you to be like, well, I'm a street walking magician, and I'm not expecting that. But like, is there anything that you think that feels like sort of unique or different to what you see around you, or something like a particular strength for each of you?
I feel like I can pick yours straight away.
I
Yeah,
know
okay,
what
let's
he's
do
gonna
that.
say,
Do it
but
for
I
each other.
don't
Do it for
agree.
each other.
I think Britt's, like, her strength is she has such, like, amazing ways of, like, dealing with situations that would, like, usually frustrate me.
Yeah.
I think patience, the word patience doesn't really, like, do it justice, but, like, it's, like, the way she can, like, insert herself into, like, situations that, like, would usually, like, I guess not really, like, get to me, and, like, she's very like vocal or verbal with the way she like does things with Arthur, whereas like I can like kind of like skip a few steps, and then when I watch Britt do them, I'm like, oh, okay, like yes, our son is not even two. I guess I should break things down a bit more, or like so like you've got patience mixed in with like being detail oriented, like around Arthur, and like even though you say you're not the emotional one, you like have so much like you show so much emotion. Of course, he's our son, but like the way you can like combine it all together.
You're gonna say
Nice.
that.
All right, Brett, what about for MJ? What do you think his like unique strength
I
is?
think MJ like is genuinely like the most incredible dad, like as a whole. And I think like unique to maybe dads more specifically, like the amount he takes on. Like I think as a generation, it's hopefully becoming less unique. But like looking at like dads and the generations above us, like the amount he takes on, he like it's like truly a 50-50 parenting load and household load, or maybe not household. MJ
Nice.
probably does way more than 50% in that regard.
See, I thought you were going to be like, maybe not household. I probably do more there, but you're like, no, MJ.
MJ does all the cooking, and like I think probably the way you like integrate Arthur into every aspect of your day and your life, I think that is really special. And like I think that like will build him into like what we're trying to say about character, what's important to us. I think like incorporating him into those aspects of your day and like taking the time, and like that he can make things take longer, but like you're willing to do that, to like have that time. And like I think something you read a lot is like kids don't necessarily need to play, they need to be involved. Like I think that's a huge thing, and I think MJ does that really well.
So cool.
Thanks.
Oh, nice guys. That was a lovely little moment. No, that is so lovely. And such like I love that the things that you guys pointed out about each other were like about how Arthur is like included, like both of your things reflected how much you prioritize having Arthur really enmeshed and involved in your lives. Like clearly that's quite a big value for you guys. You're not like he's here and he's a child, he's here and he's part of our family, he's an integral part of our
100%.
family. So it's very cool that like both of your strengths reflected that. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. Okay, question 4, bit more of a fun one. What has your biggest what the was that moment been since becoming a parent? What moment has made you guys go like, what the just happened? What was that?
I feel like they happen daily, but then it's like one of those things you get asked to, and you're like, oh.
I know. Lots of people say like, I've had people be like the first 2 years, or like when I had a second child, or like birth. You know, like you can give a general answer if you want to. That's totally fine. But
Actually, I think I have one.
I think I've got I've got two, but we'll see what you say.
You won't pick mine. I think this is because fresh in my mind because I was talking about it last night. There was like one day my mum and Nana were looking after Arthur. We were doing something. I can't remember what. And I had made a lunch and like set it all up and I was like, everything's ready for you to like have for him. And we have 2 lunch boxes and I couldn't find the other one. So I packed it all for him, whatever. And we got home and they were like, oh, he really loved that ham sandwich that you made him. And I was like, I didn't make him a ham sandwich. What do you like? I don't know what you're talking about. And then later figured out that they had found the other lunchbox in the car that was from the weekend and that a ham sandwich had been sitting in the warm summer car for 3 days. And that is what he enjoyed thoroughly for his lunch. And he was
were
fine.
You just on like vomit watch that you were just
Well,
like...
he was happy. He went to bed happy, no problem. And MJ and I are in bed. And then
Oh my God, I can't believe I've forgotten this.
You've blacked it out. Trauma response.
and
Because it's gonna happen.
because we heard Arthur wake
You
up.
see why?
And MJ was like, I'll go and do it. I'm very lucky. MJ would do most of the wakes. He was like, I'll go in. I'll sort it out. He'll probably just need to be resettled. Maybe I'll give him some milk. And he walks in
I
like,
gave him milk.
did you give him
I
milk?
gave him milk.
Oh, okay. Gave him milk. Walking back to the cot then. I thought it was when you got him out of the cot. Picked him back up to put him back in the cot and like the biggest projectile vomit I have ever seen in my entire life.
Especially if
MJ,
you've just given him a thing of milk as well, so it's like...
Just girdled, yeah.
milk and 3-day-old hot cheese.
And ham sandwich.
Yeah, cheese and ham sandwich. It was like the first time he had actually like vomited. And the only time. We haven't had anything since.
Yeah. I've only
But,
ever
like-
seen like milk vomits, but this one was like
Food vomit. It's a different vomit. It's a
It
different
was-
vomit.
Like, I'm like, where was this in your body? Like,
It's unreal, eh? And you're like, how is it still coming? How is
Yeah.
this still something in
MJ
your
was like,
body?
I walked in, he was like, babe. And I'm like
It's like,
walking through and he's just standing there with like Arthur in front of him. Vomit is all over MJ. It's like
down my back.
all on the floor. It's
Because
reached
in
the
that moment, you're like,
cot.
I don't know what
to
to
do.
first. Like,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
do I...
All I
the
knew he was in
smell.
pain though, because
And I
like,
was
he was
like-
like crying.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
and I
so
genuinely was like,
horrible.
what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that is like the most literal interpretation. That is
Yeah.
a holy moly. Oh,
Yeah.
that is so yuck.
Yeah,
The first time our son ever vomited, I was out at dinner with some friends
oh no.
and had my
Missed it.
phone on silent and had the phone on the table.
Face
And
again?
luckily, yes, face down, terrible. Never do this if you're a parent who's out for dinner. I would roast a dad if they did that, but I did it. Terrible. Anyway, luckily I was at a restaurant that my friend owns. And so he knew that if he called the restaurant and said like, hey, is Abby there? They would know who I was. And so he had to call the restaurant and be like, this isn't funny. This isn't a joke. You need to come home right now. Freddie's vomiting. I don't know what to do. The baby's screaming. I was like, oh my gosh, okay. Had to like quickly get in an Uber and go home. I was like, oh my gosh.
I'm coming.
No good. No good. So everyone, if you're out and you've got children, have your phone on vibrate in your pocket. Check your phone. That's my advice.
Yeah.
All right, MJ, what's yours?
I was gonna say mine's kind of like less, but like it was more of a period. Like a what the
Equally
fuck
valid.
period. Arthur went through this like weird stage when he was like younger, I'd say 3 to 6 months, where he would always poo when we tightened his seatbelt
Just in the,
in the
capsule.
car. Just in the
What is
capsule.
it?
It got to the point where we wouldn't dress him until we got to where we were going.
Yeah. Because we thought it was just like, oh, this is a once-off thing, but like
No,
it was like
it went on for months.
it went on for months, and he would like as soon as like when you pull the
And we're
belt,
talking like blowout, not just like
Oh,
poo in his nappy.
yeah,
it's not like, oh, okay, just a little poo. It's like
No.
proper.
We
Like,
had like face cloth in his capsule at all times.
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
The Bissell just lived under the dining table, didn't even get put away.
yeah.
It's
Pretty
something
much.
about that angle, eh? I don't know what it is about the angle that they're sitting at in the car seat, or especially the
Yeah.
capsule when they're babies and they're still in the capsule. Like, something about it that it's just like presses
was
the poo
like-
button.
Yeah, well, it was like it wasn't like different.
It wasn't even doing it up, it was just the shape. Because then we would bring the capsule in and just lie him in it 30 minutes before we needed to go somewhere to see if we could get it out before we actually.
Yeah, that's what we started doing. We started putting him, in the capsule in the
Yeah.
home. to see if he would pull it out.
We used to, like, sometimes my son would get constipated and we'd be like, oh, just chuck him with the capsule. He'll go.
Yeah.
And
It'll
it
figure it
always
out.
worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, I was
Crazy.
literally known for it. Like at baby, we would do baby sensory each week, and I was like known for it.
Where's Britt? She's just outside changing up.
Literally, like changing his entire outfit.
Yeah.
Love that. Love that for you guys. Oh, that's so funny.
Probably,
All right, we have made it to the final question, which is, except for the secret sixth question, which is in my Substacks. This is kind of a new thing. Listeners, it won't be new for, but it is new for me, where I've started a newsletter and paid subscribers get to hear the like secret sixth question that I'm asking each guest. So very exciting. So if you're interested in hearing MJ's answer to his secret sixth question, go to my Substack because it'll be there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go there.
Question, yeah, go now. Go pay me money so I can keep doing the podcast. But if you were listening to this podcast on the day you became a parent, what would you want yourself to hear?
What would I want to hear on the day I became a parent?
Mm-hmm. The day Arthur was born.
I'd say the first thing that kind of pops to mind is just be kind to yourself.
Oh, I was going to say the same thing.
Oh,
Yeah, I think just be kind. Like
You just have to have grace for you and your partner.
you do. Like I feel like it feels like such a cop out answer, but like I guess once you're in the trenches of parenthood, like you will start to feel like the whole world on your shoulders. But I just think if you give yourself grace and you can be kind to yourself, it does take a lot of the like kind of the
Yeah, I think our flexibility thing kind of comes into that too. Like be gracious to yourself. Like you will get through each day. It might be pretty like bloody hard some days, but like you somehow make it through. Like rely on your village.
yeah.
Whether that's just your partner,
Oh, yeah.
whether that's family or friends. Like don't be afraid to like
Ask for
take
help.
and ask for help. Yeah. Even taking help, like if someone messages you and offers something, like say yes.
Yeah, and you need it. Like don't be too proud.
I was so sad when the like food parcels stopped coming. It was like the week he went back to work as well, and I'm like,
it's so unfair
actually,
how at all times, eh?
I'm like the food this time, friends, if anyone's listening, the food parcels can start when MJ goes back to work.
Yeah.
He can cook for the first few weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, we this time around like froze all the meals that got given to us, chucked them in a deep freezer, and started cooking them when my husband went back to work for that exact reason. Yeah.
But yeah, I
No,
think that's like a huge thing. Like we've got friends. I have a friend that had a baby last week before, and
Congratulations.
Yes, yeah. A friend from work, and I messaged them and I was like, if you need anything, like if you want meals dropped off to your door, like please sing out. And they're like, no, I think we're fine, but thank you. And I'm like, accept the help. Like,
Yeah. I just don't even give friends a choice now. I'm like, I'm not coming over to your house to see your baby or see you. Like, that's not what's
just
happening. I'm
dropping it
gonna
off.
drop
Not
a
like
meal at your door and run away. Like,
this is not like a close enough friend to do that.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah, there's definitely friends and friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just like,
I think like just take the help. Like it's never like a food on your like a meal on your door is not going to be unhelpful.
No.
Like whether it's helpful now or you put it in the freezer and you have a particularly awful day and you've got something waiting for you. Like, yeah, accept the help, rely on your village.
Yeah.
And I think like support one another, I think. A lot of the time.
I guess because you're
feel
my
like it falls.
first like couple that I've had together speaking, I'd be a bit remiss if I didn't ask you like a question about like the relationship and how that's changed, and like I guess maybe like what is your biggest piece of advice to people like couples about to enter parenthood to remember in terms of like in regards to their relationship, like maybe how that will change, or your advice on how to stay connected, like what sort of really helped you in staying strong as a couple?
I think it's hard to like I guess when you say one thing and like keep your word, but like just like you put time into your kid and foster that kind of growth and relationship, you've got to do the same thing with your partner. Like your relationship doesn't end when the baby is born. Like you have to, just like I said, you've got to like work on your relationship with not only like your partner, but you got to work on your kid. Like you've got to make the time.
Mm.
You have to make the time. Like,
Mm.
and it doesn't
I
have.
mean, it can be really hard for some couples.
Yeah.
Like, we're really lucky. We've got family in town. Like, my mum
Yeah.
is awesome and loves having Arthur. But, like, from pretty early on, we, like, made a really big effort to, like, still go out on dates or, like, to have a night. And it doesn't have to be, like, a whole night
a whole
or
thing.
this, like, an extravagant dinner. Like, go and get ice cream together or...
Or when you've got like, if you've got baby down, just kind of like, I guess like put on a show or something you guys used to do, and like just
Yeah.
kind of like just it's not necessarily like the show, it's just embrace, like just embrace your.
Yeah. We're not so good at the at-home one.
Yeah.
But, like,
I
I think...
like, we realised after having our second, like, she's 5 months now, so she sleeps in her cot, but like, in the beginning she would like sleep on us for the first stint of the night, and then we would be able to get her down into her bassinet, but like we would get her to sleep on one of us and then we'd sit there scrolling on our phones. Like, we just kind of like went insular, and when we turned to each other and were like, okay, let's be intentional. Yes, she's on us, so we're not alone, but we can put our phones down and like talk to each other while she's asleep. And that, like, just that really like finding those moments to be like, actually, we could be reconnecting here and we're missing it a
making
little bit.
intentional connection.
Yeah.
I think that's one of our biggest things. We've been talking about that a lot recently.
Yeah.
Like, when we're at home, like, prioritizing our time together.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's really easy to fall in that trap of like doom scrolling and
Yeah.
things like that. But yeah, I don't know. I think we've made a pretty big effort.
That's something I have to get better at since starting this podcast. It's
He's
like,
got to get better at it.
I've got to get better. I'm
It's
trying.
not there
Yeah,
yet.
I'm not. Yeah, but I'm trying my best. Yeah.
I'll
Yes,
message
yeah.
you for some tips, because my husband's like, are we going to see each other again, or is
Hello.
this just your life now? Like,
Literally me.
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's so nice. And I think like definitely a good goal to have ahead of having a second as well, because
I think
It's
it will
like-
get harder with the second.
Yeah.
I think the working on it within the house will be a big thing
The
with the
big-
second. Because I think it will be harder to get people to look after two kids than one, especially in that young phase. So I think
yeah.
that's actually probably a really good point for something else to like work on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that like learning to find intentionality with each other with the baby around, because obviously Arthur can still go to his grandparents or like whoever he's comfortable with, but the baby is sort of like attached to you for a long time.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
like learning to find the moments and like still try and go on those dates, like if the baby can sleep in the pram, all those sorts of
Yeah.
things. Like
Yeah.
For sure.
we really worked on that this time around and definitely found it very helpful. So good job, guys.
We'll tuck
Good
that
goal
one away.
setting.
Yeah. Not at all.
Cool. Well, this is the end of the official side of the podcast. But if you want to hear more from MJ and Britt, head over to my Substack, because there's going to be a sixth question which they're going to answer now. But for those non-paying subscribers, we love you, and there's a cost of living crisis, so don't feel too bad about yourselves. It's absolutely fine. We love you anyway.
sorry.
Thank you for tuning into this part. Is there anything that you would like to plug before we wrap up? This will go into the main episode of like any events coming up, or like just Facebook page or anything like that.
Yes, actually. So on my Instagram page, in my bio, there's a link to our Facebook page. It's
It's a private.
a private Facebook group, yes. But it's the Christchurch Dad Strollers Club, but you don't have to be in Christchurch to join it. If you want to pop on in there, join the group and have a yarn. I usually just update like when we have events and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, just make sure you answer the security questions. Otherwise, we won't accept you.
Yeah,
And how
definitely.
often do your events tend to happen?
So I'm doing a walk this Sunday. And we'll be doing, I guess we do the walks every month.
You hope to do them kind of fortnightly.
Yeah.
We've just got the first half of this year has been
Hectic.
actually ridiculous.
It's-
And then also you guys are like pregnant with number 2, so don't don't load yourselves up too much.
Fortnightly to monthly.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that and then I'm also planning to do a kind of like a bigger event every quarter of the year. I've got
Got a few things in the pipeline.
I've got a big one for the end of year, kind of like a block party kind of thing.
Cool.
In the works, where there'll be, I don't know, food, there'll be catering, there'll be some barbers doing cuts,
Nice.
some DJs doing music.
Hopefully,
So
nothing locked in.
Cool. That's so rad.
But conversations
that.
have started.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's You don't
But
have to be.
yeah.
You don't have to be a Christchurch dad to join the group on Facebook.
Yeah, dad
Yes.
have a good chat. I mean, Christchurch based, like one dad the other week put up that they were going to pop down to a pub to watch
The footy.
the footy with one of the other dads and like just made an open invitation.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
it's not just like the planned events,
Yeah.
but like really just trying to
Just
foster
like-
community within
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
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 dads in the same life stage who can hang out and chat, and
Pretty much. Yeah.
that is so cool. Okay, so if you are Christchurch based, obviously check that out. If you're not and you're looking for community, check that out. If you're rolling through Christchurch at any stage,
Yeah.
see if there's an event on, because you should absolutely go and join in.
Yeah.
And
That will be on your
Guys.
Instagram as well. If
Yeah.
you want to join a
yeah, I'll
private
link
group.
all your
Yeah.
like Instagram and the bio so people can find you, in the show notes so people can find you very easily.
Yeah.
But
Even
yeah.
if the event's not on, just shoot me a message. I'm keen for a coffee or something.
Oh, I love that. You've got friends in Christchurch, guys. Just look them up.
Exactly.
Amazing. MJ and Britt, thank you so much for joining me on the pod. It was an absolute delight. And what a
Thanks for
delightful
letting me
bonus.
tag on.
Yeah, delightful. I've been saying, like, I was literally writing my podcast goals last night and I was like, would love to have a couple, like, answer the questions together. So look, we've done it. We've gone and ticked it off. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank
Awesome.
you.
No worries.
Why do you parent like that?
Thank you for listening to this episode of Why Do You Parent Like That? Why Do You Parent Like That is created by me, your gal, Abby Harrison. Huge love and snuggles to my gorgy nephew and niece, Thomas and Francis, for lending their voices to my jingle, as well as a massive thank you to the iHeartRadio Podcast Network team for giving this little pod a place to call home. Be sure to follow our socials to stay up to date with podcast happenings, as well as chaotic insights to my life. If you have a story that you reckon would be neat to share on the pod, flick me an email at whydoyouparentlike.that podcast@gmail.com. Love you. Say it back.
Why do you parent